when he was doing Family Feud and he's fucking tongue kissing 80-year-old women.
Yes.
Hey, Marge, how you doing? Holy shit, Richard.
This is Michaela Lee, and you are listening to The Usual Saints. Because you're cool, and you should know that.
Hi! Welcome to a new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here this week with Sainte, and for the first time in a month, we have Mr. Vinnie back with us. How you doing, Vinnie?
It's been a while. Yes, it has. It's good to be back.
You been okay?
I've been fine. Yeah, it's just taking care of my pops and making sure that he's doing okay. Getting the house set up for him. Because he's not getting around like he should be. He's on a walker and stuff like that. So got to make things accessible and make sure that I'm around as much as possible until he gets his strength back. But I've just been dealing with that and the move into my new place. As you can see, I'm not displaying the pillows that I fuck anymore. They're in the other room now. So
that's pretty disappointing. That was kind of our go-to every week, Vinnie. But
maybe I'll just put them back there for the hell of
it. Sainte, I know you're fucking with your camera. How you been this week? Not happy with your camera, I see. But
nah, it's just actually the lens. I was just trying to get good. I'm trying to get more technical with it. That part, I'm still working on the software side, but the technical part is the part I want. But Vinnie, good to see you, bro. Glad to
good to be seen, man. Glad to be back.
Understand you have things to do with family, and family always comes first. And we all have things we got to take care of. But and liking the new backdrop too, that you from a dungeon.
There'll be more to it. Like you can see, like unpacking shit all over the place. So where's my hand? There it is. Yeah, so, whatever. Yeah, it should be. I'm still doing some unpacking and stuff, but I'll get some stuff up on the walls, make it pretty, all that kind of shit. But it's good to be back, man. I'd like to say that I listen to all the stuff that you guys put out, but I listen to some of it, but not all of it. But I'm glad I'm back, so it'll be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, Jeremy couldn't be here this week because he's having a kid's bar mitzvah or something at his home, and he says it's too loud. So instead of even trying like a man, he punked out on us, but that's fine.
A bar mitzvah, huh? Wow, nice.
I'm just joking. I don't think it's a bar mitzvah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure he's not Jewish.
I thought he was Italian. I was about to say, is he Jewish? I didn't want to ask.
What is he? I don't even know.
I don't know, man. Geist, what could that be? German? Sounds like German to me.
Austrian, one of those things.
And of course, anyone who listens to this podcast on Sunday is not watching live. We were supposed to have Billy Cock, the band from Italy. Don't know if you know that, Vinnie. We were supposed to have a punk band from Italy. I
saw that message conversation that he had, and he sent that audio of his apologies for not being able to be there and blaming himself and all that crap. So I heard that, but that would have been cool.
Yeah, listen, I'm not trying to make it so I'm not going to knock him because I want him to come on the show still. But the Saturday, they knew it was a Saturday, but for some reason they thought it was a Sunday. And then by the time I got back to him saying that Sainte and Jeremy were able to do Sunday, they were like, "Oh, it's too late," even though he had told me that they were all set up for Sunday at 3 p.m. Right. So I don't know, man. Whatever, things fall through. I'm not that concerned about it. But it would have been cool to have our first musical guest. But maybe it'll be someone else, if not eventually Billy Cox. So.
I'm going to slide out of the way here for a second.
All right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. The biggest thing, not the biggest thing, but the thing I wanted to talk about last week, but I failed to get Jeremy and Sainte on board because we had a really long show as is. Because I disregarded the no politics talking and got Jeremy and Sainte into a nice little conversation. It's been 100 years last weekend since the Tulsa Massacre, Black Wall Street and all that.
Right.
Just wanted to, that's something I didn't learn about as a kid. And when I first learned about it was watching Watchmen on HBO, like a lot of people. And so, I thought it was made up for the show, but little did I know, no, it's something that actually happened in Tulsa Tulsa, is that Oklahoma? Tulsa? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys done? I've done a little bit of research, but mainly it's from Watchmen and just Wikipedia. So I don't know. Do you guys know anything about it? Have any thoughts on the subject? Obviously, it's something that should be remembered, and I'm glad that more people are kind of spreading the word about it now.
Vinny, if you want to go first, because I can go, I guess, a little longer probably on it, but I shouldn't assume that, Vinny, if you want to go first, what do you know about the Tulsa Massacre or anything, did you know about it?
Well, I know it was a community of professional Black people. It was a town that had successful businesses that were owned by Black people at the time. And then there's, I don't know how it all started, but it ended up, murdering and burning buildings and just, making a complete, disaster of the town and killing a lot of people. I don't know what the exact numbers are. I was going to research it before we got into this because I know that the anniversary of it was, within the last few days. So,
I just wanted to touch on Vinny saying that professional Black people, as in that's what they do for a living. They're Black people. I thought that was funny. But,
the professional Blacks. Yeah.
Hey man, being
Black professionals. You know what I'm saying?
Being Black's a full-time job. I don't know if you guys know that.
That is. Yes, that is a full-time job, and you don't get hazard pay. That's what sucks.
No, it's hard out here in these streets.
I'm telling you, man.
So I guess this is a topic I can go on for a bit. I found out about the Tulsa riots probably, I want to say, I guess now it'd be about 15 years. I'm a big history buff. History is my favorite subject. I watch documentaries, listen to history podcasts. Most of the audiobooks I read or listen to, anything like that, usually have to do with history. I'm just fascinated with history in all aspects, from ancient history to, current history and American history. So yeah, I found out about the Tulsa riots a while because, for a long time, the nickname is Black Wall Street. And, what you find out is that there was a group of African Americans. The deeper you go, the reason it was built is originally, former slaves when they were trying to get away from the South, run away from, plantation life, basically sharecropping. You basically go from slavery to Jim Crow. I think one of the biggest myths that continues to be perpetrated is that slavery ended and everything got good. It's we rolled right from slavery to, everyone's free and, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, where we, forget that part of Reconstruction and that part of American history that's really critical to understanding where, our race relations and where African Americans are today. So basically they ran from the South. And at the time when Tulsa, the nickname of it was, I might be getting this wrong, was Greenville, I believe. I got to go check back. It's been a while since I did a deep dive, but that part, they went there because Oklahoma was not a state. It was still a territory, and it was mostly considered Indian territory. So a lot of African Americans set up their homes and their livelihoods in areas because they wanted to get away from places that were actually states, because they knew they would never get equal treatment, fair treatment. The brutality, the invention of the Ku Klux Klan all took place after the Civil War. So at the time, Oklahoma was still considered Indian territory. And what's also fascinating, I didn't find this out till a bit later, which some people are finding out now. A lot of the native people and the African Americans, they didn't want Oklahoma to become a state. And the reason why is they knew as soon as it became a state, all the freedoms and all the, advantages they have in being in a quote unquote Indian territory, they would lose once Oklahoma became a state, and they would basically be under the thumb and the subjugation of the white man. And so fast forward, Oklahoma becomes a state. Greenwood becomes quote unquote Black Wall Street, or what, a lot of them would call, the nickname for it was Little Africa. That's what, the white people in the town in Tulsa called it Little Africa. But you had businesses, shops, and at the time it was estimated, there's been, some back and forth, that some of the biggest concentration of wealth, and not just African American, but in the whole country, was there in Tulsa, besides actual Wall Street, because there were 3 black banks. You're talking dentists, all kinds of businesses. And at the time, Oklahoma, Tulsa was a route that many people heading west would go through. And if any African Americans were going west, they would stop in Tulsa because they knew of, Black Wall Street, Little Africa, and they would go there. And it was very vibrant place that African Americans coming from the east heading west or to settle in Oklahoma could be. So you had, very process. Actually, the only thing that's still standing there is an AME church from back in the day. And what basically started the riot was what causes, which is funny. I mean, you can go through all of the history of lynching, the Ku Klux Klux Klan, all through it. It's, a white woman accusing a black man of inappropriate touching, rape. It was, I think in Tulsa, I think it was supposedly a black man had grabbed her, and which later was proven to be completely made up, false, much like Emmett Till and countless of other incidences where, the accused black man touches a white woman and, the town, the mob has to take in, mob justice into their own hands. And that came, and basically the whites, with the help of the local sheriffs and part of the Klan, they just went crazy. And another thing to know about Tulsa, it's a pattern. Tulsa wasn't a singular event. You can go through so many places in American history and you'll find that places where African Americans, I'm talking about the time between after the Civil War and let's say before about the 1940s, 50s. So you're talking about from like maybe 1866 to about 1940, before World War II, let's say. That's about right. Before World War II, you have all these cases of African Americans developing small communities where they're thriving, they're prosperous, they're having businesses, they're educating their own children, churches are there. Basically what other immigrant groups, basically what today a lot of quote unquote conservatives applaud other immigrant groups of doing. Let's say the Jewish community or Vietnamese or Koreans, how they come to America and they form businesses and they have what their own communities there where they buy amongst their own, do things for their own, put their own money back into their communities, and from there they're able to lift themselves up and achieve quote unquote that American dream, that immigrant story that you see all through American history, the quote unquote that supposed immigrant story. When you hear of Tulsa, you'll understand that this happened in Florida, Georgia. There are Tulsa massacres everywhere.
Rosewood, Florida.
Rosewood, Florida is an example.
It happened in Ocoee. Rosewood. Bing Rames.
Right. Bing Rames. Yeah. That was, you mentioned how the Tulsa riot started, with the accusation of a black man touching a white woman. That's pretty much how I didn't delve into the history of it, but if the movie is true to the actual happenings, that's what started that.
Right.
A black man was accused of raping a white woman. So, but yeah, I mean, these are just, these are the ones that have been made popular. I mean, they happen all the time. That there are places that you never even heard about that. This went on during this time, post-slavery, of course. The Rosewood thing was 1923, I think, and so I'm sure there's been a lot of similar situations throughout the country, especially in the South, where things like this have taken place, just not popularized or talked about. Of course, if the media was like it is today, we'd be hearing about it every day, I'm sure. But
I actually had to unfriend my cousin because I had no idea that there was an Ocoee massacre. Ocoee is just east of Orlando, I think. It's a small little town. There was a huge massacre of African Americans in that community as well. In I don't know, I forget what decade, but I had no idea about it. And so I think there was a plaque and someone was kind of up in arms about it. And I said, well, no, there needs to be a plaque. This needs to be kind of commemorated or memorialized because A, they never taught me that in school. B, I don't think enough people know about it. And so my cousin, who's this hardcore conservative dude, lives in Puerto Rico now, he comments some bullshit on there saying, oh, well, obviously you read about it, so it's already well known enough. I'm like, motherfucker, like if I didn't learn about it, it's not well known enough. And I was just tired of his like kind of semi-racist bullshit, so I just turned him off and unfriended him. I'm like, fuck that. I don't need that kind of shit in my life, man. But there's so many of these little small incidents that no one knows about. I mean, I find a lot of podcasts do really good work covering stories like these over a few episodes, so they can get a little more in depth and detailed, rather than sometimes a 2-hour movie might be able to do. But yeah, there's a lot of it out there, man. Tulsa's not the only one, but I just brought that up because it's been 100 years since that last weekend. So,
and plus, you don't know if you're getting the whole truth through a movie because it's going to be sensationalized to make it entertaining. Number one, so it may be a general speaking type thing. This is generally what happened, but I think people, if they see something like that, they should go and research it themselves and try to find out more about it, just for a learning experience.
Right.
And so one final thought for, and then we can move on to, lighter topics or whatever. But the main thing I want to say about this is, there's so much out there nowadays about, whatever you want to call it, wokeness, cancel, all this stuff that's going out there today. But one of the major things I want to bring up about it, like Mike, you said you had never heard of the Tulsa Massacre until you seen it in, HBO's Watchmen. And that's no fault of your own. But the point I want to make is we don't know so much of our history. And what I always try to explain to people, when you look at, everything that happened in 2020, George Floyd, everything that happened, what I try to tell people, and, I try to tell people it's not about white guilt, making white people feel guilty about anything. Obviously I'm on a podcast with 3 white guys. It's not like I'm out here, you guys should feel guilty and, know this. And, when someone tells me they don't know these things, I'm not surprised. The point I always try to bring up is there's a history of out there and how we got to 2021, where we're at with, so-called race relations, where the African-American community, policing, all these things are intertwined, and we didn't get here by accident. And I think if everyone had a better understanding of our actual history, and now there's all this talk about, critical race theory being taught and, the 1619 Project, that's a whole nother thing we can get into later. But there are forces out there who are so against us knowing the real history. I think if people actually knew what the history of this country was, particularly when it delves into African Americans, race, all these issues, I think people would have a better understand why Black people feel the way they do, how we've come, everything from our policing to our housing. It's so many issues that if we really took time and taught people real history, I think more and more people have an understanding of it. But, and again, of no fault of your own, most people are ignorant of a totality of American history. We're taught things. I'll give you a perfect example and then we can bow out. I distinctly remember being taught George Washington had wooden teeth, right?
Right.
That whole story about how his teeth are wooden.
Right.
Then later on, when, I'm reading, I'm getting into my president books, I'm learning about Jefferson, Washington, Hamilton book, all these great books. You found that no, his teeth were, part of it was, it was a whole mechanism. Part was wooden, part were from animals, but most of them came from slaves.
Right.
He literally would take the teeth of slave. And, granted, there was, I love this part where Washington paid the slaves. Again, remember, a slave doesn't really have a yes or no. It's basically hey, slave, I'm paying you and you're going to give me those teeth. That's basically how the transaction worked. Yes, they were paid for the teeth, but there wasn't as if like, I'd like to keep my teeth. Like, no. Right. I'm going to give you this money and then we're going to rip out your teeth. And that's basically how it went. But for years, I was like, when I was a kid, I was told he had wooden teeth. And so I guess the point is, the more we know about history, the more we know about things like the Tulsa Massacre and all these things. And again, I'll be the first one to say, I'm not here to try to make white people feel guilty or anything like that. But I wish more people would have a better understanding of our history, so you'd have a better understanding of why things are the way they are today.
Well, there's still an ignorance about that, because the only people that are bringing that sort of history to light are Black. Not all, but mostly the high percentage of all that information is coming from Blacks. And of course, you still have the white people who don't believe in that and saying that they're making this history up, that didn't really happen that way, so they try to discredit it. And you still got this ongoing thing about that's not true, they're Black, this and that. You still got us against them. I'm not saying it's not getting better. I mean, we're talking about a drop in the bucket as far as getting better is concerned. I mean, let's face it. I mean, race relations are probably still as bad as they were back in the 60s during civil rights. It's getting better, little by little by little by little, and in very small increments, which is sad to say, because the only people bringing these things to light are minorities, not only just Blacks, but Asian Americans and Hispanics and whatnot, bringing their history to the forefront to show, what they went through in the American experience. So we still got a long way to go, but the only thing I can say is educate yourself the best way you can. I mean, you can't always be sure what you're reading, but who wrote it. I mean, back in the day when I was in school, you learned that all the fathers of the country were all these great men, and all of a sudden, 15, 20 years down the road, you find out that there were slave owners, and they were in the market for this, and they were making money off of it, and slaves were used on their plantations and built the White House and all these things. And you don't learn these things till later on. I think it needs to be part of the curriculum, to try to get some of that truth, quote unquote truth, into the curriculum, so people can, at least get them interested in trying to find out what really happened. Leave it up up to the, you can't make everybody believe what you want them to believe, but at least, pique their interest so they might take that next step. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
All right. So on a more fun topic, no.
What?
I thought that was a fun topic.
Race massacres ain't fun nowadays.
Wait a minute. We weren't just making fun of black people?
So listen, I feel like I'm ripping this off from the Shuley show because I just listened to it, this episode from early May, this just tonight. But there's this video that I feel like we all have to watch because it's crazy. So let's see if I can figure out how to share a screen on StreamYard. StreamYard, where the fuck you at? Oh, shut up. It shouldn't take too long.
Somebody play the fucking Jeopardy theme while this is going on.
I think I got it. Oh, what? Not be able to record the contents of your screen later. All right. I don't think it's going to work, so maybe not today.
Okay.
That's what we get for using a new
great. And good night
system. Shut up. Let's see. This is it right here. Let's see if this works.
It's like that old-timey TV stuff where it just puts we're having technical difficulties on the screen.
It puts bars up.
Well, I don't know if it'll play the audio. Let's see if it plays the audio. Okay. Let me know if you guys hear this.
All right. So far, no.
Yeah, so far I don't see the audio. What are we watching?
It's a video of a lady getting pulled over. That means I'll probably. Yeah, I'll have to do it next week. But it's crazy. That's all I'll say right now.
What's the gist of it?
She's a lady yelling at this cop who pulls her over for being on her phone, and she's basically calling him a murderer the entire time and things like that.
Murderer.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to show you guys it. So I'll show it next week. It's not a big deal. Let's see. I also don't know how I'm going to take a break in here unless I break it up, but that's fine. StreamYard, stop sharing.
Just let it roll.
I know, but we put the breaks in. Did either of you? I'm sure Jeremy didn't. Did either of you watch Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix?
No.
It's in the. I mean, I have so many things to watch with the wife. It's in the queue. It was superhero. I don't know if it kind of looked. What was that movie that had? It was it Superhero High School, something like that, or starring
Kurt Russell and
Kurt Russell, starring Kurt Russell.
Yeah, right.
And it kind of looked
like what?
Sky High.
Sky High.
Yes.
If you give me a star of a movie, I can guess it. If you say Superhero High School, I don't know what the fuck.
What's this one you were just talking about? Jupiter. What? What is it?
Jupiter's Legacy. It's the first production to come through Netflix from the Miller World tab. Mark Miller is the creator of Jupiter's Legacy, amongst many other. He wrote Civil War for Marvel. He has his own line of comics. I'm a big fan of his work. He's a good writer.
And that's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So it had like 8 episodes. Me and my wife really got into it. It ended on, kind of oh wow, let's see what the next season brings. And then sorry, Netflix is going to cancel the show. But they don't use the word cancel. They're saying that they're just allowing the actors to be released from their contracts, and they're going to focus more on another portion of the same universe called Super Crooks, which is more about the villains than the heroes.
Yeah, that's how I got fired. That's what they said when they fired me. Exactly what they said. We're going at this at another angle, Vin. Yeah,
we're gonna focus on new employees that we haven't hired yet, Vinny.
Exactly. We're gonna focus on other people.
It's not what we call a firing.
Other people that make less than you. That's the angle we're gonna take on this.
Well, I just thought it sucks because I got into it. It's not like my favorite show or anything. It's something to kill time. It's serialized. It has superheroes. I wanted to see what they did with it. It's okay. It's probably at least as good as the fucking Vinnie sending apostrophes to our chat right now. But sorry, audience. You just sent an apostrophe to the message.
I must have fact figured the apostrophe. Hey, it's my favorite punctuation, right? So if you get an apostrophe from me, that means something, man.
Anyway, it's just, and Netflix seems to be the one to do this with shows. Like, unlike other, networks or streaming services, they don't put out their metrics. They don't release any of their metrics. So they kind of just move on from stuff unless it's like an extreme hit or has a lot of buzz or something. And obviously Jupiter's Legacy didn't hit those notes for Netflix, I guess, or they decided to refocus. But, like I said, it's just a little bit of a bummer. It's still a decent show. Go watch watch the 8 episodes, and whatever they do with Super Crooks, I'll watch. But
I believe it said, so obviously Netflix.
Hey, hold my spot for me, okay? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got it. I'll cover for you.
It's a health thing.
So,
this motherfucker walks off in the middle of the show. Go ahead, say.
with Netflix, it's all about, they're a technology company first. If you ever hear the history of Netflix and how they came up and, how they ended up destroying Blockbuster and all that, they consider themselves a technology company first. And everything they do is based off metrics. And what the funny thing is, when they were buying up the content rights and, basically they would go to the movie studios and, hey, your film library, we'll pay you for it because we need stuff on Netflix. And for a while, the relationship worked well because, the traditional studios, Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal, they're all like, fine. To them, Netflix was found money. But what they first didn't understand is eventually what we have now, we have the streaming wars, which they were like, well, wait a minute, Netflix is making all this money off our content. They're paying us this with, they're making billions of our content. But another thing Netflix did, which is what made them miles ahead of the competition, was the data that they drew from it. Early on, Netflix figured out like, hey, if you guys don't know Netflix, they know how long you're watching something, what you're watching, what time of day you watch it. And it's all going into an algorithm, data driven, and they take all of this and they take all this data and they make complex algorithms, and they can look at it and they can see exactly what's going to keep you watching, what's going to keep you from canceling. There was the famous story where, a guy was watching, I forget, he was watching something over and over and over again, and Netflix contacted him saying like, are you contemplating suicide? Like literally, their algorithm figured out through this guy's watching patterns that, hey, something might not be right. That's all to say they know what, there's just a formula where they figure out, okay, second season of the show, actors want more money, writers want more money, directors want more money, they want a bigger budget, they pump all those numbers in, and then they go and compare that to, okay, is this show going to bring us new customers? Is it going to hold on to customers? Is, what's the demographics? Is this what we're going for? So they have a whole equation that they can pump in to figure out, is something cost effective? And the biggest thing is just cost. Like they have so much content coming in, not only from the US, but overseas. They just figure out, hey, is this show, and really all they care about is this show going to help bring in new subscribers, or is it going to keep a large number of subscribers here? And if it doesn't meet those two criteria, show can be on the chopping block. I mean, their first two series, what it was, House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. And those lasted so long because they were their first shows, but so many of their customers had been invested in them because it was the first Netflix shows. So many people. After that, only really Stranger Things has been as big a hit, or has been able to keep people and bring more people in to the to subscribe to Netflix, as Orange is the New Black and House of Cards and Stranger Things. Everything else is just basically, hey, even Ozark, which, for them has won awards, been a hit. It's ending after next season. I mean, Ozark has, I believe, maybe 14 or 16 more episodes. I think there's going to be next season. Yeah, 16 split up into two. But even by what we would consider network standards a hit, to them it's just like, hey, we have our numbers, and if you don't meet our numbers, I think there's certain creators who they like to work with just so they can be like, hey, we're in the blank business. For example, Dave Chappelle. Hey, we're in the Dave Chappelle business. He's a trendsetter. He's considered, by many the number one comedian. They work with him just so they can be like, hey, this is where Dave Chappelle's home is. In my opinion, they've overpaid for tons of comedians just so they can be like, hey, big name comedians come here. But besides that, when it comes to actual shows, it's just a cost analysis that they do. And, probably Jupiter Ascending, while it probably had some diehard fans, they probably just looked at the numbers and been like, okay, we're just going to keep this small sect, but it's not going to be enough to validate continuing on with the show. And the show probably costs a lot of money, seeing what kind of show it is.
I just want to clarify, Jupiter Ascending, I think, is the Wachowski film. Jupiter's Legacy is that Jupiter's Legacy.
I'm bad with that. It's probably not good for someone who's speaking to a microphone. I'm just always like, yeah, Jupiter's Legacy. You gave a funny look, and I was like, did I say something? Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy. Yeah, Jupiter's actually, Jupiter's Ascending, great movie, though, by the way.
I've never seen it. That's the one with Mila Kunis and what's his name? Channing Tatum or something like that?
Oh, wait. Was that, that's you? No, that movie's not good. Sorry.
That's what I was I've heard bad things about it.
No, which is the one with Tom Hanks and the one where Tom Hanks and it's a big loaded cast. What was that?
Saving Private Ryan.
No. It's a futuristic movie.
Yeah. Shit. Oh, that's gonna kill me. Okay. It's a 2-word title. It's based on a famous book.
Yes.
It wasn't really well regarded.
But that movie was great. It was long, but it needed to be long. But that movie, that's one movie I would definitely recommend to anybody as soon as
Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas, highly right. We need to do that on the USSR. Cloud. That's one of those movies where I think it was so negatively received, and one day I just sat down and watched it, and it's almost 3 hours long. But I thought this movie was incredible. I was like, this movie's great.
I thought it. Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the theaters, and I didn't have a negative thought of it, but like you said, it was really long. I think there were a few parts of it that kind of dragged a little, not horribly, but some of the storylines just weren't as entertaining as all the others. Because I forget, do they all interconnect at the end, or they all? Okay,
yes. Everything interconnects, and I don't want to. I don't know who's listening. I don't want to spoil anything, but see, the problem with that was it came out in 2012. I'm looking it up right now, and the budget for it was between 100 and 146 million. Only made 130, but today that would have landed on a streamer like Netflix or Amazon, and I think people would have loved it. It had the cast, everyone was great in it, and I loved it. But then again, I didn't watch it in the movie. I didn't sit down for 3 hours in a movie theater. I watched it at home and took breaks. But I was like, no, this movie's incredible. I was like, why does this movie get such bad reviews? And I think it was just the time. I think if this was a 4-part Netflix, I think it'd have been much more well received today.
And speaking of Wachowskis, I mean, I know we're jumping around a little bit. What do you think? I mean, I don't know anything about it yet because nothing's been released about it, no trailers, anything. What do you think about Matrix 4? Do you think that's a wise idea? I mean, I have no idea how they're going to do it. Keanu's coming back. I think everyone's coming back.
Has there been any news? I thought there was some casting announcement that just recently hit.
Isn't it being released? It's being released this year. It's one of the films that's going to be on HBO and in theaters. I guess Morpheus is not going to be in it, but let's see. Any recent news? The most recent news I see. No, I got John Wick news. Donnie Yen's going to be in John Wick 4.
That's what Donnie. Yeah. Okay. Which I mean, that's just makes sense. They're going to pull every single martial art. That makes sense. And John Wick,
Yeah, Donnie Yen's such a badass.
Right. But so Matrix 4. I mean, that's one of those. It's like, of course, you want more Matrix, you want more Keanu, but I mean, I'll ask you, Mike, were you a fan of 2 and 3? I mean, Revolutions and Reloaded and Revolutions?
I was looking forward to them too much that I have, I'll say, fond memories, but I think the anticipation was what keeps that afloat because they don't hold up to they don't hold up to the first one. The first one's just amazing. We're in the process of showing them to our daughter, and so we're on 2 now. We just kind of watch it when we have time and when she's not busy playing Genshin Impact or whatever. But so, it's nothing like the first one. So what story could possibly bring them back to 4? Because at the end of the third one, I mean, 17-year-old, 18-year-old spoiler alert, the Matrix gets rebooted. And so why is Neo back? Is he the one again? They did kind of touch on that, I think, in the first one, though. I'm pretty sure they say something about he'd been there before or something like that. Like, I heard a line. I was like, oh, shit, maybe they had this planned all along. Like, so I'm interested. I'll watch it, of course, when it comes out.
The first reason I laugh is like, it sounds like you suffered from the Phantom Menace syndrome, where like when the Phantom Menace first came out, everyone was so hyped on the Star Wars. And when I went and seen it, I was like, and I mean, I was against Jar Jar from the very beginning, right? But I remember it's like people go back and watch, it's like, yeah, maybe that wasn't as good as we thought it was. But to your point, I mean, it was also said that wasn't the first Matrix, that Neo wasn't the first one, how, it always seems like, the humans always come up with this. So I'm sure somehow, some way they can be like, the machines, they built another Matrix and Neo has to save people. So I think that's probably the direction they're most likely going to go.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'll watch it. It'll be on HBO. Vinny's back. He's happy to announce his presence.
I'll watch it too. What is it? What am I watching?
we got sidetracked talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about originally, but we started talking about the Wachowski sisters now, and the Matrix 4, and we were just kind of touching on what we thought about that. You know, it's coming out, I think, allegedly later this year, because I think John Wick 4 got pushed to next May. Originally, it was supposed to be Keanu Reeves' Day, like this year. Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 released on the same day. That would have been pretty badass. I think. Huge. But I mean, were you a fan of the original Matrix films?
Wait, let me say, there was no way that would have happened. No chance that would have happened.
I know.
One of them would have blinked. Like somebody it might have been Warner Brothers, but somebody's going to be like, okay, we're not going to release 2 Keanu movies this big on the same. I mean, you're splitting the audience. Like, no way. Somebody would have blinked.
I would go see both. I do double features, triple features all the time. I would have been in that theater for both.
You're a weirdo, Mike. Most people aren't going to go to the double. It's going to be one or the other. No, there's no way somebody would. Well, I'm at this point. It's kind of say I think the Matrix would have blinked first. They'd be like, well, are we or John Wick going to come out on top of this? And I think more people would go see John Wick. To be honest,
I'm more of a John Wick fan.
Yeah,
than I am the Matrix.
Well, John Wick's relatable. You know, they killed his fucking dog.
Oh, exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, are you kidding me?
Well, we were talking about the casting announcement for John Wick 4. Do you know who Donnie Yen is, Vinny? Do you follow any martial arts? Or he was in Rogue One too. He was the Chirrut Imwe, I think was the character's name. I love that character. He's a blind guy.
I know who he is. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so he's going to be in John Wick 4. I don't know in what role. I think he plays like a former, not friend, but compatriot, I guess, of John Wick. So I don't think he's a villain or anything like that. I think number 3 set it up pretty clearly that what's his name, Ian McShane, I think is going to be not the villain, but probably who John Wick is after, the way number 3 ended. If you haven't seen it, spoiler.
No. Trust me, I'd watch it anyway. I mean,
yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
All right. So I guess we can take a quick break without taking a break. I've never used StreamYard before, so it'll be interesting to edit it. But we'll take a quick break.
So what's the advantage of StreamYard?
Well, if I pay for the service, like if I stop paying for Zoom and we use this exclusively, we get these banners, we get these comments on the right-hand side, which I think you guys can see.
I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can put up any comments I can put up on the screen like this. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool, right? And cool. we also have the private chat. We can put up brands, like we can put up video clips. Don't know exactly how that works, but like I can put.
Yeah, you're muted. Mike, you're muted.
Okay. No, that was the clip.
Oh, it was?
Oh, did you guys see it or no?
Yeah, It was like counting down.
Yeah, okay. So I can put up a 30-second timer. I don't know what else I can do with video clips. Something I got to play around with. But also I can push this stream, once I subscribe to it, to every service, to Facebook, our page, Facebook, our group, LinkedIn. But LinkedIn, we have to have so many followers. So that won't happen for a while, probably.
It's like LinkedIn's like you actually have to have people.
Basically, to use LinkedIn Live, they want you to have like 1,000 verified followers or something. I'm
great. Hey, Vinny, happy 65th birthday. We're on LinkedIn now.
And so you can put. Oh, it also goes to Twitch too. So without me having to know much about those things, I can kind of just push it out there, and just spread the word for our live shows. You know, obviously the podcast is what we focus on, but trying to get the interaction and having more ways to interact is always a good thing.
What about the audio for the podcast? Would that be? Is it a higher quality audio? Because for some reason, I mean, it's audible, it's good, but I tend to think that maybe the Zoom audio isn't like the greatest, and I was wondering if other services, because that's what some of the other services that promote their audio,
better audio,
broadcast quality stuff.
I know Riverside FM touts their shit, but we saw how that happened last week when we tried to record with it. Say, you couldn't use it because you use Firefox. It wasn't something we could figure out on the fly. It's something I had to play around with, and they only give me 2 hours to play around with it for free. So how am I supposed to know if I want to buy your service? They're the ones who say they can do 4K video audio and great audio quality, all that kind of stuff. With this one, I feel like we sound okay. The only thing I will notice, and I'm not sure if it's because you're using such a high resolution camera, Saint, your audio is coming after you speak, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
wait, you're lined up now. Go ahead, talk.
Am I?
There's a short delay. Short delay. Yeah.
See, I could go back to just using the GoPro, but I just wanted my video to seem a little better. But because I'm using the Elgato 4K, but that's what everyone, all the YouTubers and stuff, they say they use, and everyone comes out and I got this fancy microphone. Maybe I should just go back to the bare bones computer stuff. So I got all this equipment, and it just makes things more complicated. It's like shit. All right.
Yeah. You need to tell Vinny where you got your mic arm so he can stop grabbing the mic like it's his penis.
I'm not touching the fucking thing. I'm not. I swear to God, I'll fucking do the podcast like this all goddamn night.
Hands up.
Oh, Vinny's on the podcast.
Touching the mic arm like it's your penis.
Wow. You know what? The funny thing is, I have another mic with a boom. So, but I just haven't hooked it up yet in this house. So I'll try and work on that.
We've only been doing the podcast since last December, and you kept saying you're going to hook up your new computer, and you never did. But that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm on the new computer now. So there. Okay. I'm on the new computer now. I got the webcam. I'm good. I'm on the new one.
No, you're good, man.
So
you'll get there eventually. 2022 is your year, Vinny. I think 2022.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. My background will look better. Everything will be nice. Everybody's what a wonderful podcast. He's got shit behind him that nobody gives a shit about.
All right, let's take a quick break. You've been listening to Usual Saints. We'll be right back.
That wasn't the break?
This is the break.
Yeah.
Now we're in break. Okay. Well.
Hey, this is Trooper James Casey. You're listening to Usual Saints.
I swear there was something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot.
So what do you have? Just regular water? You guys just have regular water?
I have an Astria bottle. It's filtered. It has a filter inside. It's just tap water.
I have regular Hurricane.
I have
in this water.
You guys have had this at all? Vitamin water?
Oh yeah, big hit on the boat. Yep.
This one called Rise, the orange flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sip this. I gotta guzzle it. It's that good, especially when it's ice cold. It's good shit.
Is that
sponsored by Rise Vitamin?
Being sponsored by Vitamin Water.
Is that 50 Cent used to do Vitamin Water? Does he own that or something? Or I thought he did.
Does he own it? I thought he owned. Didn't he make some kind of liquor?
No, he had a flavor of Vitamin Water instead.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he took like 4 or 5% in the company. Then they sold to Coca-Cola, and he made a shit ton of money. So it's where he was performing one time and he forgot the lyrics and he goes, fuck it. It's all good. Vitamin water. He literally did that.
Welcome back to The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Saint and Vinny. We're talking about 50 Cent. I gotta say, I don't want him to kill me or anything, but he's kind of dumb sometimes. Like when he filed for bankruptcy and then posted that Instagram with him looking sad with cash spelling out the word broke behind him. You're gonna get called out for that shit, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's such a good idea.
Nah, he's become one of the ultimate internet trolls.
Yeah,
he's a troll.
Definitely a troll. Everyone he'll just pop in their comments and shit. It's pretty funny. I get a kick out of it.
Hey, you know what's funny?
No, he's a funny motherfucker. I'll give him that.
Hey, trolling is fun though, man. Trolling is a good time.
All right, let's see. We talked about Tulsa. I guess we could touch on celebrity death since you guys know how much I love death.
You are death monger, man. Jesus Christ.
That was one of our big topics last episode. Mike's fascination with watching.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Death? No, well, yeah. we talked about Christine Chubbuck again, and the news anchor who killed herself on air, and Bud Dwyer who killed himself in front of the news crews, and then I mentioned that there were some videos that I don't think other people should go search out, and I didn't say how to find them, but there's some really disturbing videos out there.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, I saw a guy like getting his face cut off by drug lords. It's really disturbing.
Getting his face cut off.
Yeah, actually,
really?
the most disturbing things I've seen have been like those drug lord, like, there were some women who were helping the police, and there was something, a bunch of drug lords cut off their heads. Yeah, that's the most. Always the drugs.
I don't need to see that shit.
No.
Yeah, I listen. I don't either, but I have this macabre fascination, morbid fascination with it, and it's not something I wish on anyone or anything, and it's not something I seek out necessarily. But if I go down a stupid rabbit hole and I click a link and it leads to another link and then another link, and then I'm there and I'm like, I'm here. So.
Yeah, I might as well enjoy this while I'm here.
Not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. It was really. I do regret watching it, but at the same time, I watched it. So I told the guys there's two very popular songs that play in the background of the one I'm describing, and so I can't give the names out because if I give the names out, it'll make it easily searchable. But it's very weird to the dichotomy of the songs playing and then this very disturbing shit going on in front of you, But yeah, I don't know. So let's see who died this week. So I got two that I saw. There may be more, of course, but if you guys have any, you can pop it up. So the one I saw first, it was the day we actually recorded the podcast last week. BJ Thomas. Now, I don't know who BJ Thomas is, just saying the name. Do you guys know who BJ Thomas is?
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Yeah, I know who BJ Thomas is, man. Fuck yeah.
Nope.
BJ Thomas, he was a songwriter, singer-songwriter. He wrote Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which is made popular by the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
See,
So,
Sainte, Vinnie knows all the facts about BJ Thomas. You don't know Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head at all?
Come on, man.
No, I know that song. I just
okay.
don't. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
that's the dude.
Listen, here's the other one you might know from him. It was in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think repopularized it. Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, that was him.
It's on a feeling. That's
Yeah.
him.
Oh, that guy's gone off. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
I love that song. Ooga chaka.
Ooga, 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 chaka. Yeah, man.
Down on another tangent, I keep reminding people how Guardians is the most important Marvel film, and the music, the 70s music is what caused, it was the biggest thing that caused Marvel to be where it's at. Anyway, we need to go down that rabbit hole sometime, but yeah, I love that song.
Yeah,
We
man.
can go now. I mean, we don't have to cover that topics on the list. You got a rabbit hole to go down. We got time.
No, I was saying that
list
song,
usually turns out to be shitty anyway. Mike just sitting around making shit up.
Motherfucker, I'm the only one that puts shit on the list. You guys bring shit.
I know. I get it. We got to have something to talk about. I get that. I could go just during the day and come up with the half dozen things that I'd want to talk about. I don't need to list them all goddamn month.
No.
And then there's like 75 fucking topics, and it's like we're on here for 2.5 hours. Jeremy's getting beat up by his wife because he's still on the fucking podcast.
It's because we never talk about it, because we try to avoid the stuff that makes people off. But we got to talk about it. We don't have to. I mean, there's shit on there that's old that it might not be relevant anymore. But I literally have Jupiter's Legacy Netflix in the middle of the list. Like, hey guys, you should watch this, and now it's fucking canceled.
That's great.
So cross that motherfucker off the list.
I just did.
We didn't even have to talk about it.
We should be a little better on show prep. But yeah, that's actually pretty funny. Like, you guys should watch this show. Oh wait, it's canceled.
Wait, it's over. Jesus Christ! But hey, you guys should really watch Father Knows Best. Yeah, it was canceled in 1958.
But I was going to say that song in Come and Get Your Love by Redbone.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's kind of what set the Marvel universe. And I for my money, it's probably Kevin Feige's genius when, they took that risk with Guardians of the Galaxy. Because if you watch, I tell people, watch all the Marvel movies up till then. And while they, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., he always had that quippiness, that smart aleck kind of feel and vibe to it. Guardians of the Galaxy comes out in 2014 after the first Avengers movie, which was huge. Then came the second Cap and the second Thor, which for my money is the worst Marvel movie that there was. But if you watch Guardians, it completely completely flipped it and told people like, hey, the Marvel universe is going to be fun. And the way the director James Gunn did it was with those songs. Like,
are you talking about Thor Ragnarok?
No.
Oh, okay.
Thor: The Dark World.
The Dark World. Okay.
No, Ragnarok's great. The Dark World is
Ragnarok is great.
Basically, Ragnarok came about because they watched Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, and said that sucks. Let's make another one.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
Well, they made one of the smartest decisions. It's the fact that they keep hiring these men and women. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say just men, but the people
Sexist.
Sexism, racism, we got it all here, man. Holy shit.
Up until Chloe Zhao, I think everyone has been a man, but I digress. I don't know that for sure. Because Patty
Captain
Jenkins
Marvel?
is in DC. That was the two. That was the two. Yeah, they did another movie. I forget. But all the creatives who have come along, Taika Waititi, James Gunn, you don't throw Joss Whedon in there. Avengers was what it was, but
Not
the
anymore.
Russo, the Russo brothers. I mean, Taika is one of my favorite directors.
Absolutely. Yep.
Just what he brought to that, and that goes to James Gunn. If you've watched James Gunn's early films like Slither or Super, I mean, you know what this guy's about, and the fact that Marvel said, "Hey, here's 150, 200 million, go make your fucking movie," and they let him. I think he wrote it. He wrote the whole trilogy, and so to give someone like that, go ahead.
You mean no, Guardians of the Galaxy? There's actually a female screenwriter. She was on the first Guardians, and then James Gunn came and he got a screenwriting credit after he got the director. After he became the director for the movie. So I forgot what her name is, but no, I mean, but you have to give Kevin Feige the credit because I think maybe because the way Thor: The Dark World went, but someone made a point, and I don't know if you guys agree with it, that the reason we don't see comedies anymore is because a lot of that space has been taken over by the Marvel movies. I mean, if you compare what we had in Iron Man, basically phase one, Iron Man, the first Captain America, the first Avenger, the first Thor, and then going, Hulk, if you consider that Marvel proper, and then the Avengers. The tone of the Marvel movies after Guardians of the Galaxy, the tone of the Marvel movies completely go to where it's like we're cracking jokes, we're trying to get as many one-liners and getting people to laugh. It's, semi-self-aware to where Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, people are just throwing, what they called, what Tony Stark called Thor Lebowski or whatever. They're just throwing quips out and just trying to be funny in all the movies. And I think that started with Guardians. But I guess if you rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy and you watch it, the beginning starts with Star-Lord and it starts out like any other Marvel movie. It's, big music, orchestra, Star-Lord lands on a planet. He's there. He's searching something. It's, this sci-fi. Oh, we're getting into this thing. And then immediately Redbone, Come and Get Your Love starts and Star-Lord starts doing a dance in the middle of this cave. And that's when okay, this is different. The tone's different. It's going to be fun, lighthearted. Don't take it too serious. Enjoy the ride. And that's what I mean by, and of course, even from the trailer, I mean, of course they had a plan, but the trailer of that movie was that movie you guys are just talking about, bringing it full circle, that ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga cha. And the whole vibe of it is like, wait a minute, this is going to be, we're not going to be serious, which another reason why I thought DC, and then famously they tried to correct it with what they did with Justice League because Batman v Superman and Man of Steel are so, dark in tone. We're like, oh, we need to get lighter and fun like the Marvel movies. It's like, you guys don't get it. There's a way to do this, and just trying to slap in some jokes isn't going to work. So
yeah, like we do.
No, kind of.
We'll see what happens with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad coming out this August. That should be pretty fun. The first trailer made it look pretty interesting and rather violent. Definitely is going to earn that R rating with King Shark, voiced by Stallone. Goes back to our Demolition Man call out. Vinnie, we missed you on the Usual Saints screen. We missed you on the Usual Saints screen reviews, which I think Saints still in the process of editing. But
I still have the Adobe Audition. It's like I'm becoming a perfectionist, but I think I've got the intro, I've got the outro, so I know intro, outro is going to be the same.
So you've done just one of those, right? Just one of those. You've got how many? Okay,
just Demolition Man.
What logo did you guys choose?
I think you picked the one with the movie seats. I know the audience doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, but they'll see when Sainte puts it up on Anchor.
Right. I think I just, because it's supposed to be a 1 day turnaround, it was only it wasn't that expensive. So actually, if I just took the time myself, I probably could have figured it out in Photoshop. But I'm probably gonna add a little maybe hammer and sickle, and then add our names to it. Just so I figure adding our names, so it'll be cool. So, but that last one, because it gave me some space also to add some things to it. But that one, and I wish I could show. I think you guys would dig the intro. I wish you guys could hear that. I wish I could share that with you guys right now, but we're on a new platform, so.
What's the what platform are we?
Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. No.
Fucking Mike, man. What platform are we going to be on next week, man?
Hopefully this one, if it works out well. If it doesn't work out, we'll go back to Zoom.
Hey, I found this one called Two Cans on a Wire. We could fucking use that.
All right. So that'll be coming out. Whenever it comes out. Saying I'm not pushing him. It hasn't started yet. Once it starts, though, we got to keep it rolling.
Do we know what movie we're doing next, or do we keep that secret?
Well, I know Sainte wants to do an episode on Mayor of Easttown, so I don't know if you've watched that at all, or if you want to catch up on it and be involved on that episode when we record.
Easttown.
It's on HBO.
My girlfriend just finished watching that. Hey, you like that show? Right? Where is she? Are you watching this?
No one's watching this, Vinnie.
Not watching it.
No,
I'm not even watching it, and I'm on fucking camera.
No, but that's the next one. I think I know that's one Sainte wants to do, but you can even suggest something. I'm down for watching anything. And I don't know if you saw, I did reach out to Jason Douglas. He was in Texas Cotton and Cyst. And we still haven't done one. Yeah, we still haven't done one for Cyst. I mean, if Sainte watches that, we could do one for Cyst. Even though,
how long is that movie? Is it
an hour and a half?
Please.
Okay,
not even that. It's not Cyst. Cyst isn't that long at all.
The problem is it hasn't come out yet, so I don't know.
Oh, but do you still have the screener?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we don't say anything that they don't want us to release about the film. So I feel like if we did one on that, we'd almost have to avoid spoilers just because it hasn't been released yet, and we don't want to ruin any relationships with the stars. We'll
just pick something else until that.
Yeah, we can just pick something else. Yeah, I'm looking at what Jason.
Actually, no, I remember. I clicked the link to that and it said private. Was there a password to it or no?
Yeah, I put the fucking password in the chat, bro. It says PW : and I'm not going to release the password here.
Yeah,
not that they have a link anyway. But, I'm looking at what Jason.
Okay. Wait. I'm a dumbass. Yeah, I see it. Okay, gotcha.
I'm looking at what Jason Douglas did. A lot of TV stuff, a lot of voices. He also done. Oh, he was on Walking Dead. I forgot about that. He was on Walking Dead for a few episodes. Walking Dead?
Really?
Yeah. He was in Preacher. Shit, he played Satan in Preacher. I mean, geez, this guy's got quite the lengthy resume. So I mean, if we're able to schedule something, I mean, I got a lot of stuff a lot of series.
Cool.
He was on the fucking Leftovers. I love the Leftovers. Did you guys watch the Leftovers on HBO?
No.
I watched the first 3 episodes and we checked out of season 1, but then everyone tells me season 2 and season 3 are amazing. Yeah, and I was like, so I gotta go back and get through because season 1, I'm like, I got too much to watch and this doesn't seem like it's going. I'm one of those people, I give HBO the benefit of the doubt. I watch everything that comes out on HBO proper, not Max so far, even though Max a little, but that's one of those shows where it's first 2 episodes wasn't doing it for me, and then afterwards everyone's like, oh my god, season 2 and season 3, you have to watch this show. I was like, all right, so I gotta give Lindelof another chance.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I know a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in Lindelof, whether it's an experience with Lost, which I still consider a great season finale. I know people are like, that sucked, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I love it. It made me cry. I don't care. But Lindelof, I'll put my fucking faith in him any day, man. Watchmen, fucking brilliant, dude.
Right.
And, so that, I know we go off on our tangents, but I mean, that's one of those things. Like if I see he's producing something, whether or not he wants to put out another season of Watchmen. If he can think of something, I'm there. I'm there. No questions asked, man.
Yeah. Oh no, me too. Although, I mean, the ending of Lost was like, come on, guys. You guys told us it wasn't purgatory. It basically was purgatory. It's like, okay, just admit you didn't know what you're. It's like, hey, we got this cool idea for a show. We got polar bears, an island, and by the time we get to season 3, like, does any of this make sense? Not really, but okay.
Right. I would put more of that, and not knocking the guy at all, because he created Lost, which is probably still one of the best pilots in TV history.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I think Carlton Cuse came from like the background of like Nash Bridges or whatever he was working on, and so, like I said, not knocking the guy. I just feel like Lost had a lot of input from both creators, whereas a lot of these new things are more just Lindelof proper. And so, like Leftovers and Watchmen, not just him. He obviously has his writer's room, and I listened to the entire Watchmen podcast and just hearing him how they created it. It's really interesting that the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to throw any shade towards Carlton Cuse. I'm not sure. I don't know the guy, but Lost did lose its way once or twice. I think in the series finale, it still had a lot,
or 3 or 4 times. I mean, the first season was so good and engrossed me. I believe back. This is how old we are now. I watched that on DVD. I'm pretty sure I didn't catch it live. And then the second season, the second season, the Tailies. I can't remember.
I think so, maybe. Yeah.
Tailies. But then season 4, where they get off the island, spoiler alert for some people, that was an amazing season.
Oh God, if you don't know the end of Lost by now.
And then, I'm just saying, but by the end of Lost, it's like I said, spoiler alert, it's purgatory, or basically,
purgatory.
About there. And people have been guessing the whole time, is it purgatory? And they're like, no. And they just basically admit we didn't know how this was going to end. So it's okay. But
I still don't fully understand the end of Lost, but I still love it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no one does. The writers don't, because they don't know. And eventually it's like,
they're making up their own endings. People are making up their own shit. Well, what did it mean to you? Well, it means
that's the thing. Okay, so listen, Jack dies and then he goes to the church or whatever and everyone's there. And so was that death and he's moving on to the afterlife, or was the church part, or
it's all just purgatory?
It was lunch and they were all at the commissary getting something to eat.
We don't know how to end it, but we have to, so this is the best.
We got to end it tonight. What do we do? Let's have them all meet in a church. Okay, sounds good.
When ABC made them or asked them to make more episodes than what they wanted to put out, that's when it kind of lost its way. But then they put down that edict, like, no, we're ending at 6 seasons or 7. I think it was 6. That's it. No, that's all we're doing. And they shortened the episodes. They didn't go 24 episodes or 26 like the network wanted to do. Yeah, I think it went 6. Yeah. So I mean, whatever. I enjoyed it, but that's all from BJ Thomas, by the way.
Yeah, no shit, man. You know what? I looked at that list. There's like 40 fucking topics on that thing.
We can buzz through them real quick, bro. Okay.
36 of them are from like last month.
Did you guys know B. Arthur died?
No, Maud died. Oh shit.
No. Okay. So the other death that made news this week, but I don't really necessarily think I am that sad over it. F. Lee Bailey died, one of the attorneys for most famously O.J. Simpson.
Right.
I didn't realize that was his last like national trial. Apparently, after that trial, he had a whole bunch of shit go down. Like he was taken to court. I think he got arrested for something. He lost his law license. He went up to Maine and like he was like a judge in a beauty pageant. That was like he lost every ounce of like credibility or whatnot. And then I guess at the end he moved back to Atlanta, and I think that's where he died. But I mean, Vinny, I don't know if you know, but like back in the day, he was involved in like a lot of high profile trials, like Patty Hearst and things like that. So
big time attorney, sure, absolutely.
Very crass joke, but you know what they say: everything OJ touches dies. So
heyo.
There you go.
They probably did shake hands at the end of the trial, right?
There you go.
Wow.
Oh shit. Yeah, like I said, I'm not crying over that one too much. I mean, I'm not besmirching the man, but whoa.
I'm just sitting here fucking around with stuff, making noise.
That's F. Lee Bailey's poltergeist.
That's F. Lee's Bailey. Yeah, F. Lee.
Let's see. What else? Oh, the Trump website, the one he put up that was going to destroy Twitter and Facebook and all those.
You mean the one that's gone?
Yes. The one that failed after a month. That started with like 153,000 members and by the end was down to like 15,000 active users or something like that. So, yeah, another Trump product that failed after Trump steaks, Trump presidency, and Trump Airlines and all that stuff. So I was pretty happy to see that. I don't know. Made me smile.
Absolutely.
I like how you slid the Trump presidency in there.
Yeah.
I had to
say that, one of the craziest things about Trump, and I was talking to my wife about this, it's like eventually people know they're being conned, but he represents something more than himself. So no matter what, eventually people figure out, hey, because do you remember when after the whole election and they were raising money because they were going to take all of them to court and, the election was fraudulent. And so donate and stuff. And in the fine print, it was a reoccurring donation.
Mm-hmm.
And those people find out that, oh, no, they were taking money from you and they slid that in. And it's amazing. What's so amazing is like eventually people figure out that they're getting conned, but it's the bigger picture that they're infatuated with. Even when they realize, hey, this guy will steal from you. He'll con you with Trump steaks, Trump University, Trump Airlines, no matter, and then Trump the website.
Well, people don't want to admit that they've been conned. They don't want to give into that fact. So they keep riding it on. They stay on the ride until it fails by another means. So they don't have to admit that they were conned as well.
But for all those people who voted for him, like you said, started with 150,000. By the end, they were down to 15. Basically, I read all it was him ranting, which I guess if he can't do it quickly on Twitter, it just loses it. If he has to actually write words in paragraphs, something, I don't know, a job for, like a president or somebody really important might have to do.
Right.
He has no interest in it. Yeah. But eventually even they get tired because all it was constant asking people for donations. Hey, give us $10 and we're going to show Joe Biden that he can.
Right. We're going to kick him off Capitol Hill. We're going to kick him out of the White House. We're going to whatever.
And in case you guys didn't know, Trump's being reinstated in August. That's
I heard.
Yeah,
I heard. I can't wait. I'm going to love when that date comes and goes, just like March 4th did for all those QAnon people. But what? Wait, yeah. March 4th? Trump's supposed to be back in office. What's going on?
What happened?
Let's see. Stuff to touch on quickly. A pretty great story I saw this week. I think I forwarded it to you guys. The Louisiana high schooler who bought, for his high school graduation, he bought black shoes with white bottoms. They were leather. They apparently looked nice. I didn't see a picture of them. He gets to his graduation. He's told that they're not in dress code and that he won't be able to walk at his graduation. So this mentor, this school employee, I think they called him like a para employee or something. He knows the student walked up to him, said, "Hey, Mr. whatever his name is, hey, they're not going to let me walk." The dude took the shoes off his feet, gave them to the student. Student walked across the stage, like kind of shuffling because his shoes are 2 sizes too big for him. Got his diploma, and but the most important thing is he was able to do one of the biggest days of his life, up until this point. And so that, seeing stuff like that makes me happy to be a human being sometimes. So
right.
So let me get this straight. He had white soles. What kind of shoes?
Yeah, apparently from what I read, they were black leather. So nice looking. Sure. It was supposed to be dress shoes or something like that. We went out and bought black leather shoes with a white sole or white bottom. You probably could see probably the color white on the bottom.
Like when he's walking, you can see the white.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, either way, they said nope, sorry. And I'm sure there's it was a black kid, and I'm sure there's other black kids walking that day. So I don't necessarily think it was a racist thing, but at the same time, dude, this kid, he's 19 years old. He's about to graduate high school. You really gonna screw this motherfucker like that? No,
over
man,
shoes?
You don't do that.
I mean, over fucking shoes that nobody's looking at anyway.
The answer is yes. You see, and the three of us are like, yeah, why can't this kid walk? And the answer is yeah, because you wear white. People argue the slippery slope, but sometimes you're like, are you guys fucking kidding me? And obviously, granted, you would hope anybody would be like, because if the kid said that to me, I'd be like, if I had nice shoes, I'm like, here, put on my shoes and go walk.
Yeah, sure.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
we're gonna let this kid walk. But yeah,
who are the people making this decision? I want to meet these people. I want to meet the people that are making these fucking decisions. About this kid's life.
It was whatever that Louisiana school district district or parish or whatever they call it is. Moving on to another. Go ahead.
That whole joke from. Did you ever watch? Okay, another tangent. But did you ever watch Steven Seagal when he had a reality show where he was a deputy?
He was a deputized sheriff. Yeah.
Down Louisiana, and a joke that was constantly made. People would say down in Louisiana, Parish County, the Bayou Parish, whatever they call them down there. Like they have so many different names for everything. We're down in Louisiana, Orleans, Parish County, Louisiana, Parish, New Orleans. Sorry, I guess it was funny before, but.
Saint loved it when he watched the show.
I thought he was having a stroke. I was like, Saint, you all right?
No.
What's going on?
Every time Steven Seagal would say it, he'd mention where he was working at. People would watch the show. It's just long, we're down in New Orleans, Louisiana, Parish County, Lawrence. Sorry, guess he had to been there, but I always remember that when people talk about it.
Any joke about Steven Seagal I love because that guy's such a fucking brick.
I was going to say, isn't Steven Seagal himself a joke at this point? Or?
He is a joke. He was a joke quite a lot. Under Siege, he was a joke.
No, have you seen that video of him running? That's
he runs like a girl.
Shit.
Yeah, he runs like a girl.
Let me see. I don't need sound for that. Let me see if I can pull it up.
God,
that makes me laugh when I see that. Yeah, there we go.
And and he has always run like that too, even when when he was at the height of his popularity. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, come on, a fucking ad.
What the fuck, man?
I didn't plan ahead. I don't pay for YouTube. Here we go.
Steven Seagal. Here you go. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him flailing. Holy Christ! Man. And that's like the movie that made him famous. That fucking
Above the Law.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But he does it in every fucking
movie. Look at him.
Oh my God.
But I also like how slowly he's becoming bigger and bigger in each movie.
Yeah, he's fatter and fatter. Each movie, I know.
He's running up a mountain.
Yeah, like
the limp wrist.
Did you see him make that turn? What the fuck was that? Holy shit.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
My God. Yeah.
Wait, I want to make sure I give props to that channel. It's Mr. Jarvie 1985 on YouTube. So I want to make sure I give props to them.
Man. Look at him. Did you see the fat bastard right there? Holy shit.
No, I turned it off.
Wow.
That always makes me laugh.
That is hilarious. Man.
Back to the graduation thing. I also sent you guys the link. Did you watch or listen to the girl's speech? She's a valedictorian in a Texas high school.
The abortion.
And she didn't. She did not give the speech that she planned on giving and notified them that she was giving. And so she gives this passionate speech about, her future and how if she fails to use contraceptive at one time, and since Texas abortion ban is after 6 weeks now, when most women don't even know that they're pregnant at that point,
sure.
It could ruin her. It could ruin her future. And, listen, we're not saying kids are going to ruin her future, but if she's got plans and she's got 8-10 years of school and a career she wants to focus on, but then she can't have an abortion because she lives in this fucking state that encompasses like a third of the Midwest or whatever it encompasses. It's so antiquated, and it bugs me so much that half the country or more thinks that this is right, and it's going before the Supreme Court because of all the Mississippi cases and what the Mississippi's trying to do. So I'm hoping the Supreme Court comes to their senses and doesn't overturn it, because that's just going to be fucked up for women and women's rights. It's just like taking a step back, but I don't know.
I don't have much faith in our current court. They seem it's strangely interesting how some of the conservatives on the court seem to be, you don't know which way they'll go, and sometimes they'll actually have a ruling that you wouldn't normally consider conservative. I mean, Justice Thomas and Alito, they're just hacks, especially Thomas, which of course being a black man on the court really irks me, but he's just a partisan hack. Every decision, he will contradict himself on any decision. It's just he has a conservative ideology, and even if it makes legal sense or doesn't make or contradicts a ruling he's had before, no different. He's a hack. Alito's a hack.
He gives the answer that's popular at the time.
Well, actually, he's famous.
Even his dissension. Yeah, no, he's quiet in court. If he asks a question, that's when it makes news. Yes. I think he asked a question during the what's his name? Curtis Flowers. That went to the Supreme Court. And I think
Yes.
Clarence Thomas asked one question. And so it was so rare an occurrence that it made national news that he actually asked a question. But back to your point, Sam, I didn't mean to cut you off. Kavanaugh, that's one that's actually surprised me because of how fucked up his confirmation hearing was. Half of his decisions have gone more liberal leaning. And whether or not you take that as he's following what the current regulations are or how he's reading the law, I'm actually pleased with some of his decisions. Now, given it's still early on and there's a lot of important shit coming up, so
right.
I don't know.
Well, actually, tomorrow morning we're gonna have a bunch of decisions. But like I said, him and Kavanaugh and who's the other one? Neil Gorsuch.
Oh yeah.
They're who knows what Amy Corey, she seems not to put aspersions to a woman, but she seems kind of dingbatty. Like she's not. There are much more qualified people who should be on the court, whether conservative, liberal, conservative, whatever. Like she was a judge for 3 years, and now she's sitting on the highest court of the land. So that's one way. Yeah. But they do seem to be sticklers for, hey, here are the rules, or here are the rulings when it comes to the law on almost everything. But I think abortion is one of those issues where they're just going to throw out all precedent and they're just going to do what they've been put on that court to do. Well, like you said, for example, that Curtis Flowers ruling, was a surprise, but it came out because many of the justices were like, well, this is what the law says, right? Which you would hope would be their standard. But again, Clarence Thomas, I can't. We need to do that on another episode where I just talk about how much I can't fucking stand it. He's the one black judge on that court, and his wife is a fucking nut job. She's a huge QAnon Trump just nut job. Literally called, Anita Hill asking her to apologize. Like, you fucking like just crazy. But anyway, that back to the story. I was actually thinking she must have been at a pretty liberal high school, or I don't know if that high school's in Austin, or because I was like, it's funny that they didn't just cut off her mic. It's Texas.
She finished the whole speech.
Yeah,
she finished the whole speech.
They let her finish the whole thing.
But
well, that's saying something that they let her finish anyway.
My other part was the thing I find crazy is the state of Texas, and you hear this from all these people, including like Joe Rogan, who's moved there, and all these people. We moved to Texas because of freedom. It's
freedom. Are you fucking kidding me?
More free down here, and the government isn't always trying to tell you what to do, and like that liberal California where the government's always in your shit. Like, notice how none of them are talking about this. So I just find that funny. But go ahead, Mike.
It was in Dallas.
Okay, I mean, Dallas is actually Dallas is a pretty liberal part. The outskirts. I mean, I've never been to so many dry counties. Like, we had to go somewhere outside of Dallas, and everywhere's a dry county. I'm like, you kidding me? No bars. You go to restaurants, you can't get anything to drink at a restaurant. I'm like, it's ridiculous. In Texas, freedom.
Hey, what? I can't get a Lone Star. I can't get a Lone Star beer. What the
I remember that we went to restaurants, and I guess a lot of those people, they obviously it's voted on by the people who live there. And I guess it's a big thing where a lot of people like that. But I'm just like, went to a restaurant. I'm like, can I get a beer?
Depends on the demographic. Depends on the demographic. You got people, in their 50s and 60s voting on shit. They're like, nah, we don't need alcohol here. We don't need no drunks driving around.
And just for the record, this is outside of Dallas, so Dallas proper, you get a drink. But all around there, it's like you go from one county to the next. It's in Texas, land of the free, but whatever.
All right, let's take one more break and we'll come back and finish up with our third section. You've been listening to Usual Saints, so we'll be right back. Are we taking a water break? Or are we going through
a break that's not a water break? Is this a break that's not a break?
Hey everybody, this is Zeb Wells, and you're listening to The Usual Saints.
I'm gonna finish up in about 15, but
I was waiting for Sainte to say something about when he has to finish up.
Well, if we would start these like at 7, but we start these like 8, 7 would be good.
Tonight 8 wanted to work for me because I was out on a case so late. But anyway,
we haven't done this on a Sunday since we haven't done this on a Sunday like we said we were going to do them since I don't know when.
Will Sundays work for you?
Yeah, after 4, anytime after 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think the biggest thing is we try to accommodate Jeremy's schedule, and then when we talked about trying to set a schedule, Jeremy was.
Well, who the fuck is he all of a sudden? Jesus Christ, he didn't even go to CSB. Motherfucker should.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jesus Christ. Fucker just shows up. He said, when he used to come to those things, he'd say like a word and he'd be gone. Okay. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you. Yeah, see you. Okay, thanks.
It needs to be like the usual Sainte After Dark, where we just shitting on each other.
I love the guy. You know, I think he's great. He's funny as shit. Makes me laugh without even doing a fucking thing. He makes me laugh. You know, but you know, come on.
And by the way, welcome back to the Usual Saints. I gotta leave all that shit in. But yeah, no.
I wish he could do it more consistently. That's all. I mean, I hate that he has to. You know, that he can't do it consistently. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, I can't talk. So.
Well, I mean,
it's a part where I just shut the fuck up.
I mean, actually, the only people that have been that could be there at any given time is fucking Mike. That's about it.
I'm the only one who's been on every episode.
And lately, that's not so true either, because your schedule, you know, if you're on call or something, you got to go at any given time.
Well, when we were on call, we did an on-call episode a few weeks ago, and Sainte and Jeremy are like, "Oh, I think Mike's getting a call." And no, my dog was just pissing on my carpet in my room.
Oh yeah, I was watching that. Isn't that the day? I think that's the day I called him when I was shitting.
Like he jumped. I was like, "Uh-oh." I was like, "He must be a call." I'm like, I better start recording. He's like, "No, my dog was just pissed." I was like, "Okay."
She was telling me she had to go outside, but I wasn't reading what she was telling me. I thought she was just being annoying.
I think that's when I decided to come on. I think I was shitting, and then you jumped up, and I was like, "Oh fuck, he's leaving."
The infamous shitting episode, yes.
Yeah, the shitting episode.
Where Vinnie was really not wearing any pants, contrary to our logo where it says no pants.
Absolutely not wearing any pants.
By the way, they're in the other room.
T-shirts?
Yeah, but they don't have logos on. So I'm trying out two different brands of T-shirts of material, like a nice thin material. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking about getting logos put on them and send them to our guests and to us and whatnot. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, the guests would love it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to get in touch with Anna since the day we talked to her, so I don't know about that. Someone else might want to reach out to her.
She's done with us, man. Yeah, she's done.
You guys need to reach out to Ida, her sister, and see if she'll be on the show. I think Jeremy mentioned that he would.
She won't be on the show either. Fucking Anna will cut that off, man.
I reached out to one of the congressional representatives for Central Florida, Carlos Guillermo Smith, thinking that he would message back because, hey, you know, you're on Twitter, you're a young dude, you're pretty good with social media. Nope, didn't get any answer back. So I'm pretty sure we're blackballed.
Yeah, the word is out in the Florida. In Tallahassee, we're fucking banned.
We never heard back from Nikki Fried, and she just filed to run for governor. So, you know.
Oh, you're not going to get a gubernatorial candidate coming in on this show. Are you kidding me?
Hey, man, any press is good press, right?
Yeah, unless we start talking about the color of her panties and shit, then, you know, that might not be good at the voting booth.
I'm guessing there's probably just a cost risk analysis. It's like if we were a bigger podcast and, you know, our materials all the same, I'm sure some of those people go on Rogan, and Rogan, you know, I wouldn't say it's the dirtiest podcast, but they'll go on there.
No, he'll take shots at you too. So yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, with our numbers, they're looking at some. No,
they're like, fuck that, man. I'm not gonna lose.
We treat people good. If anyone watches that Anna Escamani interview, we did great with that one.
No. See, that's cool, but you know, then when she leaves and we start talking about me fucking my pillows,
right?
You know,
exactly. Okay.
When people go to the voting booth and they see her name, they're gonna think pillow fucking. You know, and then.
I'm sure a campaign manager or a media strategist is going, hey, look, we checked the numbers and the Pillow Fucking podcast doesn't have enough people for you to go on the Pillow. You know, if there was 10,000 people listening to this, I'm sure they'd be like, hey, you got to go on the Pillow Fucking podcast. You got listeners. But, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
I thought the Pillow Fucking would be pulling them in by droves, but I don't know. I guess that makes some people nervous. I don't know.
Let's cover a few more things. Sainte says he has to go bye-bye in a few minutes. So let's see. Legends of the Hidden Temple. You guys, I know Sainte had to have watched it. Vinny, did you not?
What is this?
Legends of the Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon?
No.
They had that no, it was back in the day. That's why, Vinny, you're a little older than us. That's all I was saying.
Wow.
Back in the day.
Sorry, Grandpa.
Christ,
we know you missed this one.
Wow.
No, so when we were kids, Jeremy remembers. If Jeremy was here, he'd help me out. So it was a game show with what?
Of course he'd help you out. Yeah.
If Jeremy was here. But anyway, so it was a game show like at the same time, like all those game shows on Nickelodeon, where it was like a hidden temple, South America.
Wait. I do remember this. See, the issue is I didn't have cable in my house for the very long time because kind of grew up, horror. Actually, we didn't. I'm the one that got cable in our house only because I wanted to watch wrestling in high school. So I got tired of people talking about wrestling, and I'd come to school
not being able to watch it. Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, you see what The Rock did?" And I'm like, "No,
no, gotta get cable. God damn it!"
But I do remember seeing this show sparingly whenever I did catch it. But yeah.
What was it? The Hidden Temple, huh?
Legends of the Hidden Temple. So groups of 2 kids compete with 2 other groups of kids. So 3 groups total, 6 kids total, doing these various competitions. It's basically like Survivor or An Amazing Race, but it's all in one contained studio, and they're different things each week and that kind of stuff. And so,
and the name of the game was the same thing, Legends
of the Hidden Temple. So now they're bringing it back, but for adults. So adults will be running the course rather than kids.
So what does that mean? They're going to put the dicks out? What does that mean?
I think it means adults are going to run the course, not naked or anything.
All the nerdy kids that wanted to be on the show back in the day. Now they get to
now they can be on the show. Great.
Yes.
Great.
I thought that was pretty fun. It sounded good to me.
So this is like watching Screech box, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Screech.
I wonder if we could have gotten Dustin Diamond on the show.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm sure we could have if the fucker was still alive.
Yeah, before he started dying, maybe, but then he died, and
trying to get people on their dead. Yeah.
Before he started dying.
Yeah.
Well, I think I read an interview where like someone, maybe been one of his former Saved by the Bell castmates, was talking to him, and he just kind of took a rapid decline. So I feel like he was there for a few months, but was not doing well health wise. So once that started, I don't think there was any chance of us getting him since we restarted the podcast like last December. So let's see. What about the Flamin' Hot Cheetos inventor being a fucking liar?
What is that about?
So they're actually making a fucking movie about this guy who allegedly created Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I think he was a janitor or something with the Cheetos Corporation, and he supposedly had this idea for Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and he rose up through the ranks to some executive position. And so this movie,
so it's Goodwill Hunting for fucking snack foods, right? So it is.
But I was just about to say, isn't this the
that's Goodwill Hunting? It's Ben Affleck, Matt Damon at it again. Hey, let's write something about a Cheetos dude. Yeah.
How do you like them Cheetos?
Hey, can your Cheetos make your hands this orange? I got to figure out this fucking camera here. Okay, there we go.
Anyway, it turns out that Cheetos actually went back to documentation of when they developed when they got spices from this certain company to make the Flamin' Hot Cheetos and everything. And this guy wasn't even working there at the time. So he may have helped develop it, but the urban legend is that he did this whole thing. But in reality, someone had come up with the idea 2 years prior to him even coming to work for the company. So I think the movie itself is being put out and billed as like kind of not a hero story, but something to give people something to look for, like, oh, hey, anyone can do it kind of thing. But there seems to be no truth to it.
So basically another fraud.
So who's making this film? Frito-Lay? Cheetos? Cheetos is making it?
Let me see. No, it's I think a famous person is behind it. Let's see. Eva Longoria from Desperate Housewives.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it says this news article right here. Eva Longoria Cheetos movie Flamin' Hot sets Jesse Garcia and Annie Gonzalez as leads. But like I said, it says right here, as Deadline first told you about the movie, Flamin' Hot tells the true life story of Richard Montanez, the Frito-Lay janitor who took inspiration from his Mexican American heritage to create Flamin' Hot Cheetos, the snack that disrupted the food industry and became a pop cultural phenomenon.
You know what? I could have a real good time with this topic if I was a racist, but I'm not, so I won't. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Say it. I mean, the guy's a fraud. I mean, once you put it out to be a fraud, it's kind of like, okay, so basically, this is a feel-good story about a Mexican guy with his Mexican heritage. It turns out to be complete bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But what I like about that tagline was set the condiment world on fire, Flaming Hot Cheetos. Like, They are running out of ideas for movies. So
they
bad.
really are, man.
The
Holy
Flaming Hot
shit!
Cheetos guy, get the fuck out of here.
Damn. How do you come up with that damn? You know what? You're sitting around, you're drinking bottles of tequila, and you're eating Flaming Hot Cheetos. You're like, hey, man, where did these fucking things come from? I don't know. Some dude made them, man. I think he was a janitor. Get the fuck out of here. No, let's do it. Okay. What the fuck, man? Come on. Let's make some fucking movies that make sense. You know what I'm saying?
And the fact that
Cheetos. Who the fuck? Does anybody eat those fucking things?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Flaming Hot? Nah.
No.
I know people on that I work with who.
Oh my god, man! Jesus.
But the fact that Eva Longoria
wipe your ass. I'd wipe your ass with an ice cream cone after that fucking.
And their production crew didn't do any basic background research. The LA Times basically outed this dude. It's like, hey,
Wow.
I'm just going through it right now. They just like, he's changed his story multiple times. Flaming Hot Cheetos were on sale years before he even got involved with the company. It's basic fact checking, and we're putting, because it's a feel good story. Now, like you said, not to be racist or anything, but this is.
We keep going back to that.
Wait. How? I understand.
But he's black. He can say it.
This portion is sponsored by the KKK.
It's one of the perks that we have. You know, one of the perks you get when you get your job as a black person. Listen, I understand what you're saying. It could be a feel-good story because, oh, look, you know, this Mexican guy who's working as a janitor takes, you know, his heritage and it makes, you know, Flaming one of the, you know, most known snack foods, or, well, I don't know if it is or not, but for Cheetos. And yeah, this story stole because it's feel-good bullshit. And I'm just saying how, like, I wish we would do, you know, research. And I'm sure this guy's a good salesman and he pitched a good bullshit story.
Sure did. But then they find out Ricardo Montalban, or whatever the fuck his name is allergic to peppers. So he's totally out of the loop.
Was that the racist part? Just calling the guy Ricardo Montalban?
No. I don't even think, was Ricardo Montalban even Mexican? I don't know what his Hispanic heritage is.
Some kind of Spanish, isn't he?
Yeah, some kind of Hispanic, but I don't know.
Proper?
Yeah, maybe.
But the point is, yeah, like
he was Mexican.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Ricardo Montalban? All right. Well, fuck.
There you go.
That's it. You need Bill Shatner. Where's Bill Shatner when you need him?
Oh, he'll be at MegaCon charging $500 for you to walk in, take a picture, and walk out.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
But you know what? I was watching, what was it? We typically have the Game Show Network on background just because it's something, you know, that, you know, we just have.
I watch it all the time on Game Show Network.
What's the name of that show? They used to get the stars and there's like a question, you'd have to guess it, and they'd have a bunch of celebrities there and they'd write down the answer. Richard Dawson used to be on it. Was it Match Game?
Match Game.
Was it Match Game?
Match Game. Yeah, Match Game.
No. Match Game was Gene Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn, yeah. But Richard Dawson was on it. He was he was a guest all the time.
Right. You mean as one of the celebrity guests?
Yeah, as one of the celebrity guests on the panel.
Yeah. It was Match Game. And I watched that.
Yeah, there's 6 of them. 3 up top, 3 on the bottom. Yeah.
And Shatner was on all the time because I guess, you know, money whore. But it's good to know that even in that Match Game, he's still kind of a dick. I'm guessing that's how he's been his whole.
Oh, he's a dick. I mean, there's no question about it that he's quite the dick.
But like, it wasn't just something that came about from, you know, being stuck doing, you know, Star Trek movies for
it wasn't just Star Trek. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people came out and said that he's just, you know,
he always just had the answer on the Match Game, which I found crazy. It's like, Gene Shatner, like, he's up, like everyone's having fun. And he's all like, you know, going into, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut the fuck. Like, really?
He sit next to Charles Nelson Riley and
But on another note, it's also why I love Richard Dawson. He's one of my favorite guys from the 70s, from Family Feud to the Match Game to the Suits.
The Hogan's Heroes.
So you just know back then he was just like, he was living a 70s life. I have no doubt about that he was a Hollywood 70s.
He was fucking everything.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, let's face it. I mean, when he was doing Family Feud and he's fucking tongue kissing 80-year-old women.
Yes.
Hey, Marge, how you doing? Holy shit, Richard. Fuck.
I think that's the cold open.
All
right. right, let's wrap it up. I know Saint's got to go.
Yep.
So we will record next week. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't. We have some feelers out. You guys can always reach out to us. Our website's theusualsaints.com. Hit us up on social media.
We're gonna have Bill Shatner next week, right?
Yeah, I doubt it. Usual Saints on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook group. You can call us 240-724-6877. Leave us a voicemail, text us. You can call into the show live. You can email us, usualsaints@gmail.com. We have our own specialized email addresses on the Usual Saints website, along with all our interviews, podcasts, everywhere you can listen to us. I'm always out of breath when I say all that stuff.
I do like that crawl, though, on the bottom.
Yeah.
With this,
It's pretty cool.
StreamYard.
Kind of nice, too. I could put other shit on there, too. Let's see. Let's do one more.
We believe you. That's all right.
Let's see.
Can you put a penis? Can you put a penis going across there?
I don't think I have an emoji or anything.
Jeremy sucks dick. Okay. Jeremy sucks dick. Now put his phone number. Watch his phone light up. We don't get one fucking call, but you put that on there and his phone lights up. Breaking news: Jeremy sucks dick. That's awesome. Please send that to him immediately.
Yeah, hey, we need to take a screen. That needs to be like the screenshot, or it needs to be the art cover for this episode.
Show us all laughing our asses off.
All right.
God.
All right. So for Saint and Vinny and Jeremy, even though he's not here, he's sucking dick. I'm Mike D. I'm Mike D. Thanks for listening to The Usual Saints. We'll be back next week with a whole new episode.
Jeremy sucks dick.
Peace.
Peace out, baby. Deuces.